very much, and I'd like to thank Ndovu with her last sports update that we had for today. Please do catch her tomorrow, same time, same place. Yeah, man, we do have a visitor here at home. She's gonna introduce herself and then I hope she understands what I'm saying, or if she doesn't, I'll stick to this language that I'm speaking right now.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Pure Matonsela.
Okay.
I'm an industrial engineer by profession.
Okay.
I work as a quality engineer in an automotive company here in Roslyn.
Okay.
I matriculated in 2010. I was top achiever at my school and second top achiever with district or second, which is about 10 schools. So what brings me to the studio today is to talk about the book that I wrote. It's called How I Aced Matric, Making Distinctions Fashionable, which is a book that is aimed at empowering learners in high school with practical tips and approaches on how to move from average performance to excellence.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Simpure. So what inspired you to start writing? Before we get to the book, what inspired, where did the writing start?
The writing started from reading, actually. I got to a point in my career where I felt like I also need to work on personal development, and that meant I had to start reading books. I would read books from Robert Kiyosaki to our local authors, Sho, who wrote a book on that is called Money and Black People, how black people, why they don't have money, and how they can heal from that. So the writing was inspired by the reading. Yes, you can't write if you're not a reader. Doesn't work. Yes.
So now the book, you wrote the book.
Yes.
What inspired you writing the book?
What inspired me is various reasons. Number one, I feel like teachers are frustrated as much as we may not see that because we're not in the same industry. But with my own teachers, I felt like teaching was taking place, but learning wasn't in some of the learners. So we need to, the book is there to empower the learners to start learning, because there's a difference between teaching and learning. When somebody's teaching doesn't mean the learning is also taking place. So some learners don't know how to learn. Being at school does not mean you are learning. You might be there physically, but mentally and intellectually you're not there. So it's there to empower those learners that say, but barekibale, like kibala byang. So it unpacks the how to study, the how to learn. That's the one. The second one is the 30% story. I feel like learners are interpreting that as the target. And it's just the minimum. So I want to awaken them and let them know, when you invest in yourself, other people start investing in you. Nobody's going to give you a bursary if you don't show some degree of investment in the results that you get. So it's to let them know that there are opportunities out there, but are waiting for the right caliber of people for them to be able to get those opportunities. Another thing is that when do learners account for their own performance? After the year, probably teachers will go to some forum of some sort and explain why 90% of the learners are repeating the grade and why this and why that. Where do learners account for their own performance? So it's for them to reference against people who have done it best in the industry, like myself, to say these are the habits that this person was referring to. Am I living those habits? What did the person not do so that they're able to account? Because sometimes as parents, we become hustlers and don't have time to coach and mentor our kids academically. Sometimes we look at the gap between the parents and the learners when the parent matriculated. Not every parent has the time or the know-how to help their young ones. So when there's books like this and people like myself who say, I'm an academic coach and mentor. I can help your kids to align themselves with what you think is best for them. So those are some of the reasons that why I wrote the book. And sometimes learners think parents will live forever. I always tell them that do what you have to today so that tomorrow you can do what you want.
Yeah.
If tomorrow you want to be a doctor, do what you have to today. Those sleepless nights will pay off,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That sacrifice of television, of friends, abantu bazotini, I'm missing out,
Yeah.
vacation and all. Those are the things that you can do whenever you want, once you've done the things that you should be doing, for you to start doing the things that you would like to do in life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, before we get into the in-depth of the book itself and everything you wrote in there,
Yes.
I want to know what are the challenges that you've had as a, I'm not sure if it's your first book or your second or your third,
Yeah.
but then as a new writer in the industry, in terms of publishing, writing the book itself, how was the journey throughout?
Okay, so I wrote this book in 1 week, Monday to
Amazing.
Sunday. That was mainly because I'm sharing my life experience. If I
Yeah.
had to research, it was probably going to take longer,
Yeah.
because I would need to reference other people. Had I collaborated with other A students and
Yeah.
understood their version of how they did it, maybe the book would have taken longer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
on the first version, I said, let me share Spiwe, what I did, what I did not do. So it was a matter of going back to 2010 and be like, okay, girls, so what do we do? So I would start writing the book with the heading. I would think, okay, I think I need to talk about study techniques, and then I would then write everything in there. It was still very random, very rough, and I would have the writer's block. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to write now. I think but it's still quite small. So
Yeah.
every day I would add, I would edit, I would just throw everything in there. And then by the following Monday, I was already calling for publishers to understand now, how do I publish the book? Because I now have the draft at that time,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is called a manuscript. So I have the draft, but how do I? So what was challenging for me was, one, to trust people, because you would call and somebody would say, send me your piece, I want to see it. The moment you send it, you lose
The copyright.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that doubt and that insecurity. So in my matric year, the person that was speaking at the function gave me a personalized or signed copy for my performance. So I was fortunate to come across that copy somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the back to see, how did this book get published? At least maybe this person I can trust. And I also wanted to work with somebody from home in Mpumalanga. So that publisher, I got the details, I Googled, found the contact, and then I called him. And the way he was expressing his craft, you could see that he knows what he's doing. It was not sent the manuscript up front. He already had codes in the head based on the number of pages, number of words, and what the size of the book that I think I would want. So that made things much, much easier. And then the second challenge was the quotation. Because now it's self-published, it's self-funded. I didn't think it was going to cost that much. So I had to pay it in monthly installments for 3 months, and I also wanted it to launch it on my birthday in July last year. So that did put a bit of pressure on the project. So eventually I managed to squeeze money from somewhere and eventually paid. And since then I've been selling the book directly from myself until last month, where we agreed with my publisher that I think it's ready to get into the bookstores and the
shelves,
shelves. So currently it's now available nationwide.
Congratulations.
So yeah, my 2020 did start on a high note, getting my book in a bookstore. Had somebody told me that last year, beginning of the year, I was like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience. I think selling the book directly to people lifted me from my comfort zone, because now I need to approach people every day. I need to think, who can I talk to? I need new faces. I need to tell people about the book. So things I didn't think I would do, I started doing, and I started being comfortable in front of the camera, in front of the mic, in front of everywhere. So I think, and I also do videos on YouTube where I share some of, not the content of the book, but vlogging about academic excellence, some of the things that maybe I did not experience were not a challenge to me, but when I engage with other learners, they start to come through. So I would cover pieces on that, on the tips on how to overcome certain things. And I think the second book is definitely on the way, maybe somewhere mid-year. But I think I still need to see this one through. I'm working so hard to get the book out there and for people to know about it, because I've never come across a book like this myself. And though some of the kids, the age group, I wonder if they read. But I'm not creative to a point where I could do a song. Maybe had I done a song about it, maybe, because that's probably the language they understand better. But this is how it's packaged currently. Maybe in the near future there might be something that might be appealing to them, hence the pink. I thought, okay, let's go for pink. Maybe when they look at the pink cover, they'll be like, okay,
So now the big question is how did you ace your matric?
Hey Peter, if I tell you, I'll be revealing the content in the book and people won't buy. But
people are listening right now.
But it's discipline.
Okay.
You know, it calls for a lot of discipline, and some learners want the results but not the process. So here we go through the process of, we all have 24 hours. How did I manage my own versus how you're managing yours? There's the portion of being at school, and there's a portion of being at home, and there's the portion of weekends and school holidays. How does a learner manage that time is what becomes very crucial. It's pointless being in class physically but you're not there mentally. It's pointless coming to class late, because the 15 minutes when the chapter was introduced, you missed already. And we don't love each other that much that we're going to share with you what was shared. So when you frequently absent yourself from class, you are losing valuable information that nobody's ever going to repeat. So you need to write notes that you're able to reference from, you know. It's like a writing exercise. We're copying from the board. We're copying, but we're chatting. So I used note writing time as a way of learning as well. I don't write things that I don't understand. Sometimes when you write and not read, when you start reading the things you wrote, you realize
it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. So it requires a lot of presence. I had issues myself with my dad not being part of my life, where I'm in class and I'm thinking, hey, other people have their dads around. I understand. So that on its own steals your mental presence in class. So when you get into class, go into class and do the learning. When you go home, you can go and worry about the problems that you have. So it's more of being present. Teachers, as much as sometimes there's a big age gap between the teacher and the learner, but them having done that job for 20 years and seeing different caliber of learners going in and out of the system, they can never destroy, or let's say, what do I call it in English? They can what the advices they give are genuine and they work. That's what helped me. Some of the things that are in the book are not necessarily because I was that smart, but I'm showing you the importance of the let's say the tips they were sharing. If they would say be at school every day, you need to understand why. So hence the issue of where I unpack now that we don't love each other the same way. We're not gonna be sharing
everything.
Exactly. So some of these things we now start to understand. My maths teacher used to say, CP, you need to practice this thing. You need to take that question paper for 3 hours. Sit and practice it from start to finish. See if you finish it within 3 hours.
Okay.
Because now you get into the exam room, you didn't sleep, because you see, distinctions don't start on the exam day. They start at the beginning of the year. All these tasks, you need to aim for distinctions for you. It's an accumulative thing. You don't do and pull an all night and think you're gonna get a distinctions just from one assessment. So that's what I did for all the subjects. I would sit, 3 hours, time it. If a phone is a distraction, I would find other means. I would be like, okay, now it's 7. Please, one of my family members, you need to call me when it's 10 o'clock, for example. I would sit in one sitting, practice. There I'm able to notice, 1, will I finish, will I not finish? Why am I not finishing? Am I reading slow? Am I writing slow? 3, am I the level of preparation now? Did I prepare enough? You could see when that question 3, question 3 so you know, okay, the insights from this sitting, I need to go back to that content and practice it more and study it more. So those are some of the things you see. Distinctions are we really, man, you know, you intentionally work for it. There were times in other grades where I felt like, how do I do it? But then as the content gets tougher and broader and the scope is now bigger, you actually realize that I actually cannot learn from just sitting and listening in class, because we have different learning styles. Some listen, some by writing. It started off in lower grades where by listening I was okay. And then I had to develop the writing one. So now if I write something, I'm not going to forget. And also when you write something and you go through it, you develop photogenic memory. I know for that information is at the bottom of some page in that book. Your memory will retrieve that information where it is. But if you close your books and you hope somebody will open them on your behalf, then you have a problem. The other important thing that really helped me was that when there's a question in class, I made it my responsibility to prepare an answer. Because learners have the tendency of saying, you understand? If that question came in a test, that's pure that you say, but Lady Araba, where is she? She's also working on her own script. So make it a point that whenever there's a question, you also prepare an answer as if it's directed to you individually. Because when you're in another situation now where you only have yourself to rely on, so you need to develop that self-reliance. I need to rely on myself for answers. I need to, you understand? So so those are some of the things that I think learners take for granted and I leverage from, and I feel like I need to share.
Yes. Do you want to go?
Okay. Quickly, your last question. What would you say to these young women and young boys who are listening to you right now?
Who are in Matric?
Even after Matric, it still works. The tree still works.
Okay, so the first thing is that don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. You know, 12 months can be short, can be long, depending on how you view it, which angle. But you need to stop when you're done, because stopping when you're tired is not an option, you know. It's gonna get windy, it's gonna get cold, it's gonna get hot. But when you remind yourself of why you started, why you're doing this, because sometimes learners just go to school because they have to, or they can't stay at home, or transport is there to fetch them, so there's no other way. So once you know why you're doing it, what you want to achieve from that will be a constant reminder, even when you feel like, today I don't feel like. Secondly is that they need to do what they need to do today, so that tomorrow they can do what they want. I feel like I'm living proof that when you invest in yourself, opportunities just get attracted to you. So when I was doing high school Matric, I knew very well that at home there was no money to send me to university, but I was handpicked to apply. Like, we want you. I had no parents, I guess. So but I managed to go to university like other kids, had similar privileges, you know, because guys, it gets tough in university when you don't, when let's say the allowance is coming from home and there really isn't anything. So when you align yourself with the right results, because when an investor from wherever, they see level 6, level 7, they don't just see numbers. They see commitment, they see sacrifice, they see hard work. So it's not just a number. That person is able to interpret the challenges, the alcohol, the mjolo, the everything, and they feel, wow, this is the type of person that is right to invest in
Yeah.
for our business, for where we want to go, for the vision that we have.
Yeah.
So I really encourage learners, because you never know who's looking, who's watching. Some opportunities will just dump themselves at your doorstep, and you're like, Aibo, how did this come?
Yeah.
But it's because you did not focus on what you don't have today,
Yeah.
but you made use of those resources. One other thing that I want to caution learners is, sometimes we look for people that are not in our lives. Like, I did have those moments where I was looking for my dad, and sometimes you forget the people that are around. I just want to say that person that has your back is enough. If it's your grandmother, if it's your mom or stepdad or whoever, mamngani, rakadi, mang, malume, those are the right people to see you through.
Yeah.
To the destination or to the life that you want to have. And as much as they can wish, they cannot live the life for you. So it's like that. You need to wake up every day, go to school, give it your all, and make sure that you be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Powerful.
Amazing. Unfortunately, we've run out of time.
Yeah, man.
I wish we had 1 hour so that you can
You know.
Yeah. Kiana Sipiwe Madonsela,
Yeah.
with her book How to Ace Matric, are making distinctions fashionable. Yes. I think you should also write a book for university students as well.
There is actually, I'm writing a book on university readiness.
Yeah,
That's probably gonna come mid-year if I'm done.
Oh,
yes. It is on the
Ke bonela
pipeline.
kopi, ke bonela kopi.
Father God, Jesus Christ, oh God.
So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
having me.
Hopefully the learners have had enough. And then should I ask how much is the book?
The book is 175.
175.
Okay.
In any bookstore.
Exclusive books nationwide.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you feel about it. Go Facebook.
Yes.
I did like your page today.
Thank you.
Sipiwe Madonsela. You can follow her, and then if you have any problems with your academics while you're in Matric, she's also an academic coach.
Yes.
So yeah, do follow her for more about how to be an A student. Yeah, I think that was it from us. Kiana ona Abu Textrum Governor 93.0 FM Soshanguve radio station, the station that listens to the hearts and minds of the people. I was in and now I'm out.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much. And I want to say for how I aced my matric. It's not only for my matric. How I read the book, the way Ilinkatenye, even for people by read it. Trust me, it's gonna work for you, because the people who comes to work, they're not disciplined. So, like honestly speaking, so if you read this book, it might look like a tricky fella, but then for us as well, it will work for us. So, and another third one, you should do so and another thing, before I forget, try to sell it at the schools.
I do. I think it's more of a balance between work and being at school.
Yeah,
but
you should. It's a must. They must have these books. But they like the government or what matter. They must have these books. So guys, I am Daddy's little girl. Till we meet again. From me and the Afternoon Drive Revolution team, we'll keep smiling, South Africa, and we love you all. Mwah!
Sure. Nelson Top Line.